Okay. So, all right.
Great. So we're gonna go because we're running late. So this is 3D Moms. If you're just coming into the room, you know, last year was the first big year for 3D in the home. The first big screen flat panels hit the market. Prices for 3D TVs came down below $1,000, and a number of consumer 3D recording devices made their debut. It all is a very exciting beginning to game-changing technology. There's also a year of questions revolving around glass compatibility, cost, health concerns, and content availability. So where are we today? 3D today is a feature that's widely available on TVs, projectors, and PCs. Yet 3D content, while growing, isn't going to overtake 2D anytime soon. And 3D technologies continue to evolve, with many people questioning whether active shutter will remain the dominant technology in homes, and whether new passive technologies will take their place. To delve deeper into 3D, we have with us today a great group of experts who can tell us about where we are now with 3D hardware and content, and where we stand with health concerns, and where 3D is going. So let me just take a brief moment to introduce our panelists. We have Dr. Dominic Maino. He is a professor of Pediatrics Binocular Vision at the Illinois Eye Institute, the Illinois College of Optometry in Chicago, an adjunct professor of pediatrics at the Centro de Optometría in Madrid, Spain, and is a private practice in Harvard Heights, Illinois. So he's our 3D health expert. We also have Michael Guillory. He manages worldwide brand and communications for DLP Products and for Texas Instruments, and he does a lot of outreach in terms of educating people on 3D technologies from his company. And then we also have taking Phil Eisler's place, Michael McSorley from NVidia, and he's going to talk a little bit about how entertainment and gaming is going to be the dominant technology. 3D is going to be enhancing technology in that regard. So we're going to start off talking about entertainment with Michael. And you know, people think of 3D on televisions and not necessarily on computers. But computers can do all of the entertainment that's available on TVs, and of course much more in terms of being able to edit your personal content, play games. And so one of the big questions is, you know, what is possible on a computer that people might not think about when you think about 3D?
Well, I guess to start off, I mean, what people really don't understand or tend to overlook about PC is that we have a great breadth of content that's available today, already available to experience. I tend to think of it in three general categories. The first one being gaming. Right now on the PC, we can already convert 500 existing PC games into 3D, which is pretty exciting because really, on the TV side and even on the Hollywood side, there's still a very limited amount of content that's available there. So the ability for kids or even adults to go and experience games today is much greater on the PC. In addition to that, all the content that you view on TV today, whether it's a Blu-ray or a Blu-ray 3D or digital set-top box, and all that kind of stuff can be plugged into a PC and it does so on a PC in a more cost-effective way. So whether you're buying a Blu-ray 3D movie and experiencing it on TV, you can also do it on a PC for the same or a lower cost. And the last piece I think that's kind of overlooked is the emergence of 3D photos. Like she said, there's a number of new devices that you can see on the show floor today, whether it's actual consumer camcorders or actual cameras with dual lenses that actually take really, really interesting 3D photos. And it's one of those things that I can just get up here and tell you guys that it looks really great. You just kind of see it to believe it. And once you do, I think you're really going to be wowed. And I think also in the next year, what you're really going to see is the emergence of 3D on the web. We're right now, and I've seen some really great demos of literally interfaces on the web that could be viewed in 3D, as well as sharing sites for viewing 3D content. I know we've just launched our own called 3dvisionlive.com that allows our existing users to access content that we've posted, but sites like YouTube and Microsoft Silverlight have the functionality already built in, and that's something that you're going to see come to market in the next year.
So when we're talking about personal 2D and 3D content, you know, when people are editing their 3D content, should they be editing it in 3D, or is it perfectly acceptable to edit in 2D and then just play it back in 3D? What's the view on that?
I think that there is a very, I mean, if you look at consumption versus editing of content, even today in 2D, it's still very limited to the number of people that actually do editing of photos and videos in 2D. So I mean, we're focused primarily on delivering the best content for consumption right now. But there are a lot of applications now that are starting to build in the workflow of 3D. I know if you go to Sony's booth, they have an entire section that's dedicated to 3D editing, whether it's photo or video. So that's something that's going to be emerging. But like I said, I think the important thing to focus on is getting that content out there for people to see, and kind of leaving the editing and whatnot to a very small superset of people that know how to do it correctly.
Dominic, you look like you were going to jump in there. You were shaking your head saying, no. You should do it in 3D.
One of the issues for 3D movies is that they have been taking the original 2D movie and then making it into a 3D product. When that kind of conversion takes place in terms of the interaction with the human being, that kind of conversion often is the one that makes it very difficult to appreciate the 3D image, especially without feeling ill.
Okay, so good to know. Unless you want to make your audience known. Now, Michael, can you talk a little bit about 3D and gaming? You know, there has been some concern about getting so immersed in these 3D worlds when you're playing, and obviously when it's the screen is right in front of you, you get sort of sucked into it, wearing the glasses, you're in there, you know, either exploring a world and maybe shooting, you know, the enemies. Where is that line right now between virtual and real? Is it still, you know, is it really real, or is it not quite real enough that we have to worry?
I wouldn't say it's real enough that you'd have to worry at this point. I think everyone that hasn't seen it yet should go to a booth, whether it's our booth or another you know, leader in 3D technologies, and just take a look at it. I think most people would equate it to kind of looking through a window, and it really just adds a great experience to whether you're gaming or just watching content. And personally, I don't see it as an issue, but like I said, I think it's up to everyone to go kind of look at it and make their own decision.
Sure. And then I know that one of the NVidia technologies enables you to take that kind of content and put it on the big screen, as you had mentioned before. When you're talking about content that is developed for the computer, sort of 3D computer games, is it best to leave it on the computer, or is it okay to be putting it out to the bigger screen? I know that Dominic's going to have an answer for that as well, but I'll let you go first, Michael.
I think we're just trying to enable content to people that want to experience it. So whether you're sitting in front of a 23-inch television at a desk, it's almost very similar to sitting 8 to 10 feet away from a very large screen television. So I think the use cases are just based whether you are someone that's going to be sitting at your desk. In that case, a 23-inch monitor is a great platform to do that on. Versus if you're in the living room playing on a console or playing on a PC, a TV would be a great platform for that.
Did you want to say something?
I was going to say both size and distance will indeed play a critical role, so that you can get everything out of 3D you need to get out of it. And also position. For instance, and I may talk about this a little bit later, if you're in a movie theater with 3D, the best place to sit would be in the middle, about halfway back. Don't be surprised if the theaters start charging extra for those kinds of positions in the theater. So positioning, size, distance will all play a role in one's ability to enjoy the 3D experience.
Great. And then one last question is, you know, as we get into this workflow where consumers are editing their own 3D content, you know, how does that work when you're mixing 2D and 3D on the computer?